Good morning, everyone. I hope all of you are doing fine. Looks like it. Good morning, Hannah, Tejasvi. Good morning, everyone in the class. Am I audible, visible? Good morning, Vahini. Hmm, well done. Are students absent today in the class? I see less of you. I see few less. Are you all present in the class or everyone has gone out? Good morning, Siddharth. Siddharth, are you new in the class? I'm seeing you for the first time, probably. Is that so? Oops, who is this? Hi, Yashwant, how are you? Hi, Goli, how are you, beta? Oh, looks like everyone is in good spirits. The new week has started, and that is always a good sign for me. I mean, I think it started yesterday for you, and okay, so basically, sometimes Yashwant is telling me that you are going online and offline. Okay, that's a good thing that you can do that. Okay, maybe 50 acha, because of heavy rain. It's raining outside. Okay. Okay. Anyways, I hope all of you are safe wherever you are, even in the class or at your home. Everyone is safe and sound. What happened to your exam day before yesterday? How was the paper? Did it went well? And everyone? Did it go well? Viney says yes. What about the others? Was the paper good? Were you able to solve it? Anyone in the class? How was the paper? You can put your thumbs up like this. If the paper was good, you can put the thumbs down like this if the paper was not good. Okay, so I can see thumbs up there. Maybe the paper was easy, but see, nothing in life comes for easy. And if someday the paper is easy, the other day it might be tough. You must be prepared for all types of eventualities. I must tell you that uh, now, since we have covered 2 or 3 chapters, starting from motion in 1D, 2D, and we are now on Newton's laws of motion. We have also covered units and dimension. We have also covered basic maths. Now, you might expect that questions will come from everywhere. As I have always told you that when I tell you that the topic for the test is Newton's laws of motion, that does not mean that only questions would be coming from Newton's laws of motion. It simply means that up till Newton's laws of motion, everything would be coming. Obviously, up till the point that we have covered. So I may not specify it specifically, कि भैया जितना whatever we have done up till that point it will come. It will always be before that. Whatever we have covered before that, whatever portions we have done, that would be coming in your test. I would be making a sheet for you probably with all this constant relation. I'm not able to find time. I'm just too busy in my home chorus. There's lots of things happening, and that is why I'm not getting time. So I'll give you a sheet on this constant relation. I guess there was one question that we did in the last class and many of you were able to do this. I'll just quickly go through that question and we'll solve one or two of this type, and then I'll let you know my thoughts on this, why this thing is happening. I think this was block 1 here, and there was another block here. I might have changed 1 to 2 or 2 to 1, doesn't matter. I hope you understand that. So this is, let us say, block 1 and this is block 2. Obviously block 1 is going to go down and block 2 is going to move on the plane. It cannot fly like this. I hope everyone understands that. It is supposed to be going like this. Now, if this block moves down with x1 is the displacement, velocity v1, this block will move forwards. The displacement would be x2, velocity would be v2, and the angle was theta. I think most of you were able to do this. Let me do it in my way for those who might not have still cracked it. So how do I go about it? See, we have understood one tarika, and that tarika will always remain same no matter what. So what is our method? Step number 1, sketch Step number 2, isolate, done. Step number 3, draw the free body diagram. You start with tension. So what do? I just mark this as T. I have not drawn the tension. So let me draw the tensions T, 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 and T here. All the T's are drawn. Then you look at block 1, which is green colored. T is upwards. X1 is downwards. T is upwards. X1 is downwards. So the work done by tension on this block is T dot X1. T into X1 into cos theta. So it becomes minus T into X1. That is the green block. That is the green equation. I hope everyone understands this. Can I have some raise hand from the people who are sitting in the class as well as people who are online that we have understood this? Finally understands it. I think almost everyone in the class understands it. Great. What about the others? Kevin, Veronica, Jashwant, all these roll numbers, Tarun, Surain, Siddharth, Padmakant, Hannah. We're all there in the class? Okay, great. Please put your hands down, beta. Please put your hand down. Okay. What next? The next thing is very simple. You take the blue block. Block number 2. Remember, tension is going in this direction. Tension is going like this. And X2 is in this direction. So basically your X2 is like this. So X2 is like this and T is like this and this is the angle. Remember, we have to take the dot product. T dot X2. And in this case, T dot X2 is going to be plus T X2 cos theta, because the angle between T and X2, as you can see clearly, is theta. That becomes my blue equation. I hope all of you got this. That is my blue equation. I hope all of you got this. That must be equal to 0. No prizes for guessing that. This is the constraint relation that we are looking at. T gets cancelled. So I get the constraint relation as x1 equals x2 cos theta. Now, instead of writing it in the form of work done, please listen to my words carefully. Instead of writing, right now we have written this equation in the form of work done. You could have written this equation in the form of power. If we write this equation in the form of power, it is not T. Work done is, let me write it again. Work done is T dot X. Work done is T dot X. Power. How much power this tension on any force is giving to any body. Power. Don't worry, we'll discuss work, power, energy, everything. Not in this chapter, in the next chapter. Right now, we only need to know what is the definition. Not even the definition. We just need to know what is the formula for it. And as I always tell you, keep on telling you, need to know. I'll only tell you what you need to know. I also call it smart hard work. Don't have to, just because I'm using work, that does not mean I have to tell you everything about work. I only tell you what you need. Sorry. On the same lines, you also need to know what is power. Power, here it was F dot X. Power is F dot V. This is the derivative of the upper thing. So it becomes F dot V. Now, if I write the same equation in terms of power, instead of X1, it will become V1. In terms of X2, it will become V2. Do we understand this? Can I raise hand that we understand this, everyone? I can write the same equation rather in terms of work. I can write in terms of power. If I write in terms of power, the same equation looks like this: minus T V1 plus T V2 cos theta becomes equates to 0. Work done or power dissipated. Please put your hand down. Work done or power dissipated. Same thing, doesn't matter. So now the constraint becomes V1 is equal to V2 cos theta. So remember, whatever constraint, important point, whatever constraint you get for X, same constraint is always valued for velocity no matter what, because both the things are derived from the same phenomena. Work done is F dot X, power is F dot V. But there's a small problem here. If I now try to find out the acceleration curve Beachka relation, is a small problem here, because f dot a does not mean anything. Now, if I have to find out the relation between acceleration, please remember it. If I have to now find out the relation between acceleration, I will have to differentiate this equation. Now, once I differentiate this equation, all the three things are variable. V1 is variable, V2 is variable. This theta is not fixed. Theta is also variable. When I differentiate this, V2 and cos theta are two different functions which are variable. And hence I will have to apply the product formula for differentiation, which we will not be covering right now. So whenever a question of this nature comes, wherever there is an angle between T and V or T and X, you will never be asked to find out the relation of acceleration. If you are supposed to find out the relation between acceleration, I will tell you sometimes when we again between your 11th standard and 12th standard, I will be again covering your basic maths. Then I will tell you the product form, and then probably I'll tell you how to do this. Right now, this is what we need to know, and this is what we know. X1 is X2 cos theta, or V1 is V2 cos theta. I hope everyone understands this. Yes or no? Okay. Now, if you understand this, Hannah has raised hand. I guess he understands this. Okay. Now, if you have done this, then this becomes your next problem. Let's see who can do this. Now, this is one of the tougher problems that you will find. Probably you will not find it in books. But here is what the problem looks like. Let me call this angle as theta 1. Let me call this angle as theta 2. Let me call this block as block 1. Let me call this block as block 2. Obviously, if this block moves this side, x1, if this block moves this side, obviously it is kept on a plane x1. If this block moves this side x1, where will the other block move? No prizes for guessing that one. It will also move in the same side with x2. Velocity is v1, velocity is v2. You have to get me the constraint relation between x1, x2, v1, v2. Your time starts now. I hope all of you are trying the question. I always say, I always mean what? That trial is important. Answer is not. I'm not worried about the answer. Answer will come one day, someday, answer will come. And when answer starts coming, it will start coming always. Not worried about the answer. I'm more worried about whether you are trying or not, and what and how are you trying it. Answer is not important. Least of my concerns right now is your answer. Least of my concern. So everyone got anything that looks like an answer? Have you tried it? I don't think it's such a big task that you could not have done it. Vahini has got an answer. Vahini, something wrong. Just check it. Just check it. Well done, Vahini, but you have got very close to an answer. Yes, I think that is correct. Correct, Vahini. Well done. You have got the answer to one of the more difficult problems that you shall encounter. So, everyone got an answer? Let me give you some choices so that I can find out whether from the class your answer is correct or not. So first is x1 is x2 cos theta 1, x1 is x2 cos theta 2, x2 is x1 cos theta 1, or x1 cos theta 1 is x2 cos theta 2. So these are the four options that I've given you. Please raise your hands and tell me what is your answer. You can raise 1 for 1, 2 for 2, 3 for 3, and 4 for option number 4. Let me see how many of you got the answers. How it is? Option number 4. How many of you have got the answer? Option number 4. Option number 4. Okay, well done. So if you have got option number 4 as your answer, you are definitely correct. Well done. But it's my job to let you know my way of doing it. And this is not different from what you would have done it. This is block number 1. I've forgotten 1 step, 2 step. I'll just draw the tensions. Tension is T here, tension is T here, tension is T here, and tension is T here. I hope all of you have drawn this. X1 is here, T is here. Remember, the angle is like this. So T is here. This is X1, it is here. T is here. The angle is obtuse. Remember, angle is obtuse. Angle is obtuse. Do you understand this? Angle is obtuse. Between X and T, the angle is obtuse. So if I do T dot X1, it will be T into X1 into cos of, not theta 1, cos of 180 minus theta 1. Cos of 180 minus theta 1 is minus cos theta. So you will have minus T x1 cos theta 1 as your green equation. I hope you got the minus sign. Minus sign is important here. T is here and x1 is here. They are in the opposite direction. T is here, x1 is here. The work done has to be negative. What about this one? 2 block is here. Theta 2 is here. T1 is in this direction. Xt is in this direction, x2 is in this direction. So the angle is acute. Acute cos theta is positive. Acute cos theta is positive. So I get plus T x2 cos theta 2, and that would be equal to 0. This is my constraint relation. From here, you can easily find out, wrong color I've used, but okay. From here, you can easily find out T goes away, T goes away. X1 cos theta 1 is equal to x2 cos theta 2. That was the constraint that I was looking for. I hope all of you got that constraint and you will be happy of your job that you have done. Well done if you have done this. Anyone who did not get the answers, now please raise your hands and tell me, sir, I have a problem with this one. Anyone who did not get the answer in the class, I don't see anyone raising his or her hands. In the online class, Karthik has raised his hand. Karthik, what happened, beta? What you did not understand? No, Karthik has again. Karthik, you did not understand this? If you did not understand this, you can ask me your doubt. I have allowed you to unmute yourself. So please ask me your doubt. You can unmute yourself and ask your doubt. Kartik, over to you. Kartik, beta? I think he raised his hands thinking that he understood the question. So I will let it go and I shall move on to the next question, and which is like this. I'm saving some time in drawing. That is why I have shown you this. Question number 15, the figure shows mass moving with velocity u. Find the velocity of ring at that moment. Ring is restricted to move on the smooth rod. So there is a rod at the top, as you can see. On that rod, there is a ring. That ring is attached to a mass, and you have the condition here. Your time starts now. So the question is here. Have you got your answers? Yes or no? I give you a minute more. Okay. So how do we do this? The method remains same. T, 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 and T. Let us say this is moving down with velocity u. Instead of using x, I will use u. And this ring will move here with a velocity v. U downwards, v horizontal. What do I do next? I do what I've always done. Okay, I can't highlight it here. So let me use the green ink here. T is upwards and u is downwards. T is upwards, u is downwards, so it becomes minus t into u. T is upwards, u is downwards, so it becomes minus t into u. Let us look at the blue equation. What will be the blue equation? T is here, v is here, t is here, v is here, not at the same angle. Angle is theta. T is here, v is here, angle is theta, angle is acute, plus t v cos theta, that must be equal to 0. T say t gets cancelled. I get the equation as u is equal to v cos theta, or I can write v is equal to u divided by cos theta. The value of cos theta is given, the value of theta is given at 60 degrees. So it is u divided by cos of 60. Cos of 60 is half. So I get the answer as v, which is the velocity of the ring, as 2 times u. That is the answer that we were looking at. Do we understand this? Can I have some raise hand from everyone sitting in the class as well as everyone in the thing? Everyone got the answer, I guess. Okay. Please get your hands down. Okay. Well done. If you have done this, trust me, it is not an easy question to do. It takes time and energy. And if you have done this, congratulations. You have done good. What next? We have done something known as plane constraint, something known as string constraint. We had seen two types of constraints. One was string constraint, which we have already done. The other one is known as plane constraint. And now we will try to get into plane constraint, and the next heading is plane constraint. So please write the next heading, plane or wedge constraint. Plane or wedge constraint. That is the next heading. Now, what is this plane or wedge constraint? I have always told you a very simple thing, that if something is kept on ground, its velocity will be along ground. Its velocity in the perpendicular direction of ground will be 0. And that is the wedge constraint. That if something is kept on a wedge or on a plane, the velocity in the perpendicular direction is 0. Or in other words, if I say the relative velocity, let us not bring the term relative, the velocity in the perpendicular direction will be 0. So if this is the horizontal plane, the body will move only in the horizontal direction. It can move anywhere on the plane, but here it is only moving in this direction. It cannot move like this. Similarly, if the body is kept on an inclined plane like this, it can only move along the plane like this or like this. So basically, the important point you must remember always, and you mark it with a star. Remember, I was talking to some kids who were giving their JEE mains, and who are giving your JEE advance in 3 days' time. I always insist and I always tell them that look at your notes now, because at that end time, you're looking to revise things and you don't know how to revise. Now, in the last moments of your preparation, when you're looking to revise something, if you open a book, you'll hardly understand anything. Books are not meant to revise. Most often, more often or not, the language that is given in books or any written note that I give you, or the institute gives you, or you get any book from the market, that book or that note or that photocopy or that Xerox, even from your friend's book, the Xerox is written in his language, in my language, in someone else's language. For me, for that author or for that gentleman whose Xerox you have taken, for him, it might be very easy. It must be written in the most simple language. But to you, it might sound Hebrew. You might not understand anything from it. So, from today onwards, even if you have not done it before, from today onwards, write your notes, mark them correctly, put star marks where you think that this is very important. Put star marks on question which you think ki ye question karne se, if I do this question, don't think about today. Think about the last day when you are going to go for JEE mains or advanced. Think about that day. Mark those questions which you feel at this point that if I do this question, I would be able to understand everything of this topic. Now that only you can decide. I can't decide. Mark those questions. Say, for example, you can have a red mark on something that you could not do and could not understand. So you can read that question red mark. Something you can put it as green mark. Something you can put it very important. So right now, remember, when you are doing a particular topic, let us not put it on your, let me now put it on myself. When I am teaching a particular topic right now, I'm teaching you Newton's law. Trust me, no one in India can teach you or knows better about Newton's law than me, because I'm spending a lot of time on Newton's law. I'm looking for a lot of questions. I'm looking for a variety of questions. So right now in India, no one can teach you better than me on Newton's law of motion. No one. No one. But 2 months down the line, when I am on rotation, Newton law chapter will just slip away from my memory. Hardly find questions. I will hardly remember questions. I have the short-term memory loss. I'll hardly remember questions. This can happen to you as well. When you are doing a particular topic, you are very strong at that topic. That is the time that you mark everything. This is very important. This, if I remember this question, if I can do right now, this will make me understand the entire topic. Just mark that question. So that 3 years, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year down the line, when you got to revise that topic, you just see that question and you are done. You can decide it right now, which question you should do, so that you can revise the entire topic. Do it for your future self, because 2 years down the line, your future self will be appreciating your past self. Well done, my past self, you have done it nicely. Same thing I do. I also forget some questions, so I remember some questions. Right now, no one can teach you better Newton law than me in this entire universe. I can vouch for that. But 2 years down the line, 2 months down the line, someone else can do it, because that time he would be the best. Got my point? Start point. What is the start point here? That perpendicular velocity in the perpendicular direction. Velocity in the perpendicular direction. I should say relative velocity in the perpendicular direction is always 0, because they never leave contact. If they leave contact, that's a different case. You will have questions where they will leave contact, but these are very rare, because they are always in contact. Will you remember this? Can I have some raise hand? They will remember this. Mark it. See, some points I will tell you to mark it. Some points you have to mark it. I can't tell you which question will make you remember the entire topic. You can get your rounds down better. When I say this, get your rounds down. You have to decide for yourself which question at the end of the day will make me realize the entire topic. That's up to you. I can't decide for you. You should take your own decision. Okay. So now this is the main point, that the perpendicular velocity should be 0. Relative velocity in the perpendicular direction should be 0. Good for theory. But sometimes theory and problem solving does not make sense. I had this problem when I was of your age. When I was coming in, which I felt was the most difficult chapter, was collision and momentum. I studied everything. Linear momentum, conservation of linear momentum, everything. I was quite bright at that point in time. 1 hour, I finished everything. Momentum, linear momentum, law of conservation, impulse, sab khatam. And I started the first question. I could do the first question. As soon as I went on the second question, I still remember the name of the book, S.L. Gupta. Itna mota book tha. Second question I could not do. Third question I could not do. Fourth question I could not do. Even looking at what they have done, looking at the solution, I could not do, because they had solved it in their own way. Sometimes they were solving it in one way, sometimes they were solving it in the other way, and I was confused. Why? Which way should I solve? Once they are doing it this way, if I try it this way, I don't get the answer, then they do it this way. Why they are doing it this way here and this way there? So sometimes theory and the problem solving might look to you that they don't make sense, but they do make sense if you apply your concept correctly. And that is why I've given you this concept in star that perpendicular velocity is zero, because that is how I'm going to use it, but I'm going to use it in a different way. Not a different way. I will just call it different. Now remember, when I told you about string constraint, I told you that work done by tension of the string is zero. Yes or no? I told you that. Work done by tension of a string is zero. If there are more than one strings, total work done is also zero. Similarly, I will apply a similar concept here. And the concept here, see, I've always believed in one thing. I must be able to tell you one way by which you can solve every question possible. Now, in some cases, that way might not be the shortest way. How will you get the shortest way? Use your brain. I'll tell you some ways which are shorter, but then you have to use your brain. But I'll always tell you one way. Any question comes in that topic, just do it by that way and you will be able to solve the bloody question. You will be able to solve it, no matter what happens, no matter what exam it comes. I'll give you one way. That may not be the shortest way, but one way I'll always give you. And I'll always solve all questions in that way only. So that whenever you see a question, okay, this topic, sir ne kya bola tha, that way, apply that way. But the problem is smart hard work. You'll get the answer from that way, but it might take time. You have to invent your own ways where you can make it shorter. I'll tell you my shorter ways also. You can use them. But again, those shorter ways will only be applicable for that question, particular one. You have to use your brains to develop your own shorter ways. But one way I'll always tell. So, and I'll always do every question in that way. So that way becomes a part of your life. That is what I have learned in 20 years of my teaching. Ek rasta, ek tarika bata, bas. And then leave it on the students. They will be able to sort it out. So what is the way here that I have created for you, that I have for you? Oops, क्या हो जाता है ये बार-बार इसको तो नीचे जा ऊपर. Okay, I'll tell you one way. Now remember what I said. For string constraint, I told you work done by tension of a string is zero. You just write it. Number one tarika, I told you string constraint. And I told you work done by tension of the string is zero. Or I told you summation of ti xi is zero. Or for that matter, summation of ti vi is zero. Power, you work or power, they are same. Now remember how I'm going to tell you this wedge constraint. For wedge constraint, what I'm going to use? Again, I'm going to use the same concept. But instead of using tension, because there is no tension here, I'm going to use the normal reaction. Normal reaction between the two bodies. Work done by normal reaction between the two bodies, that is equal to 0. That means summation of ni xi, or for that matter, summation of ni vi is 0. To get summation of ni ai, I have to differentiate. You all understand this? Can I have some raise hand that we understand this? Why is understands this? What about the others? There are too many people sitting in the class. Class, everyone understands this? I'm not getting responses from the left hand side. Okay, we understand this. Right hand side, 3 or 4 girls are there. They understand it. What about the others? Veronica, Konda, some roll numbers. Please don't write roll numbers. Surendra, Siddharth, Padmakant, Goli, Kevin, Arpit, Venu. We are there. Okay. Now, instead of solving a question by my side, I will ask you to solve a question by your own way. I've told you how to do it. Again, I always keep on telling you, and I always keep on telling you because I believe in it. If I give you a different question, similar to what I did in the last class, and you were able to solve it. So now I know that you can solve each and every question that I give you. If I give you the first question, which is different, and you solve it on your own, well, I don't have to give you another question. You can do it by your own. So now comes this one. And remember, I had given you this example. This angle is theta. Oops, I can't draw a straight line. This is the rod. Now this rod is kept within the rails. So this is restricted to move. Oops, my rails are, yes. Now, very simple to understand that if this moves here with x1, v1, a1, how will the rod move? If it moves this side, how will the rod move? Will it go down? See, it can only go down or up because it is restricted. Constraint is there, plane constraint. This block moves here. Where will the rod go? Up or down? Hand axis down. What about the others? Down or up? Class. Down. Yes. So this goes down. X2, V2, A2. You have to tell me the relation between X1, V1, X1, X2, V1, V2, A1, A2. Your time starts now. Vine has got an answer. X1 is X2 cos theta. Not correct, Vine. Think about it again. Think about it again. Remember, when I said NIXI, I was talking about the normal reaction between the two bodies who are in contact. I'll give you time, don't worry. You are doing something new. You are bound to make mistakes. You're bound to have time. I'll give you time. Give you that. Good to see people discussing the question. I like it. Well done. See, again, I keep on telling you, answers don't matter. What matters is that you're trying to visualize what is happening. If you can visualize what is happening, the task is done. I give you a minute to win it. Anyone got any answer? Okay. Nah, something wrong. N1, N2, you can't cancel N1 and N2 if they are different. So there is no point. Okay, I'll give you some options. Number one, x1 is x2 tan theta. X2 is x1 tan theta. X1 is x2 sin theta. X2 is x1 sin theta. All possible combinations. X1 is x2 cos theta. X2 is x1 cos theta. 1 for 1, 2 for 2, 3 for 3, and so on. So what are the answers I am expecting? Hannah got 6. What about the others in the class? Please let me know your answers. 1 for 1, 2 for 2, 3 for 3, 4 for 4, 5 for 5, 6 for 6. Viney also got 6. Anyone who got anything else apart from 6? No one? What about the class? 5. I can see 5. 5. 5. All the girls have got 5. Boys also have got 5. 3, 4. What about 3, 4? No one is going for 3, 4. Sin theta is not coming anywhere in the picture. No one got 3 and 4. It's sad. Only 5 and 6. What about 1 and 2? Any chance for 1 and 2? Anyone got 1 and 2? You see someone getting 2 fit. 2 fit. Number 2 is for victory. V. Now let us do it. I'll do it. Now before going on to this, see, there are some things that you should always remember that should not take much of your time whenever you are solving a question. Told you about some facts. Let us go back onto those facts and keep them in our mind always. Because see, when I was of your age, or even now, if I have to sit in an exam, I don't remember the last time I gave an exam. Maybe that was IIT. Oh, maybe that was in college. College I gave an exam, right? 2001 probably was the last time I gave an exam. Whenever you give an exam and you are under a lot of stress, mentally, time-wise, this, that, you're bound to make simple mistakes. And that is why I always keep on telling students that do not get your answers in decimal, put them in fractions, do not do your calculations, just do your calculation only once. See, in a question, there might be, you are supposed to find out velocity, but for that, you first need to find out the acceleration. If you are doing calculation 3 times, there are 3 times probability of you doing a mistake. But if you only do your calculations once, the only chance is that you will make mistake only once and you have to correct it. For example, let us say x is VA by T. Okay. And then your y is x into 2315 divided by 5129. Now, if you first put the value of V, A, and T here and calculate the value of x, and then you put the value of x here, you will be doing calculation twice. Two points where you are, oops. Okay, I hope it's visible now. So if I see x as VA by T, and then I have y as x into something divided by something. Now, if you are doing the mistake of calculating the value of x from here and then putting the value of x here, you will be doing 2 calculations and you will be liable to making mistakes at 2 places. But instead of doing this, instead of just keeping it in fractions, if I just write y as VA by T multiplied by 2315 divided by 5125, you'll only do your calculation once and you can easily check whether you have done it correctly or not. More often or not in JEE mains or advanced, you might not be doing a lot of calculation, but wherever you are doing calculations, always think, do the calculation at the last part. Up till then, keep everything in fractions. I love fractions because fractions are good. Once things are in fraction, they get cancelled very easily. And you will see that in when you are doing a lot of questions. So that is one tip. Tip number one, calculations. Do your calculations at the end. What is tip number two? That is what I was trying to let you know. Tip number two is that in this case, remember small things. Remember these small things. You will be saving a lot of time. For example, the first thing that I told you was if there's a block which is kept here, M, you always remember that this component of the block is mg cos theta. Did I tell you that or not? And this component of the block, the weight of the block is mg sin theta. In the examination hall, you must always remember this. वहां पे मत ढूंढने लगना कि which is cos theta and which is sin theta, let me find out by angles. No, you just remember that wherever a block is kept, the downward component is always mg sin theta and the perpendicular component is always mg cos theta. You got this? Yes or no? Okay. Similar to this, if I have a wedge, this is known as a wedge, and I have this block M. Forget about mg. What I need right now is normal. Look at the normal on here. The normal here is like this. And the normal on this block is like this. Yes or no? We understand this? Can I have some raised hand that we understand this? The normal on this block is this and I'm okay. Now please remember this component and this component. Now, can you tell me what will be this component? Now is the time that you keep on, that you calculate it and tell me the answer. Which one is this component and which one is this component? It basically depends on the factor that which angle is theta, and you can easily get that angle theta. Tell me which component is which. The horizontal component is which and the vertical component is which. Is this n cos theta or n sin theta? Is this n cos theta or n sin theta? Anyone? So this one is n sin theta and this one is n cos theta. Do we understand this? Basically, what I mean to say that this angle would be theta. Am I correct? Yes or no? You all understand this? Similarly, for this one, this is the vertical component and this is the horizontal. Which is the cos one, which is the sin one? It has to be similar, right? So this one is n cos theta and this one is n sin theta. Do we understand this now? Can I have some reason that we understand this, sir? See, you have to remember this thing. In the examination hall, you might make a mistake. You might call cos theta sin theta and your life is, that question is over. Please put your hand down. Having now done this, now let us go back to the question. I hope you have noted this down. Now let me go back to this question. Why we did all this jiggery piggery? I call it jiggery piggery. I'm going to draw it here. Normal reaction on this is like this, and it is moving like this with a velocity x1, x1. And remember, normal ka component along this line is n sin theta. So there are two ways of doing this, finding out the work done by this. Either you multiply n with x1, please listen to me carefully. Either you multiply n with x1 and find the cos of this angle. This angle is 90 minus theta. So cos of 90 minus theta is sin theta. Either you do it this way or you can do it in this way. Multiply x1 by n sine theta. Are you getting my point? Either two ways. You multiply n with x1 and find out the sine of this angle, or find out the cos of this angle, which is cos of 90 minus theta, which will be sine theta, or you simply multiply n sine theta with x1. Do we understand this? Can I have some raise hand that we understand this? Everyone here in the class. Vijay, Lakshmi, Veronica, Yashwant, Surendra, Padmakant, Siddharth, Goli, we understand this? Okay, well done. So now, what is the equation of work done by normal reaction on this block? It will be n sine theta multiplied by x1. This is coming from the green block. This is coming from the green block. We all understand this. Now I'll give you a minute to win it. Can you now tell me the blue one, the blue equation? Blue is this rod. Can you now tell me the equation for this rod? So I'm giving you a chance. Remember, for this block, normal reaction is like this. Two components, and cos theta and sine theta. Can anyone tell me the work done by normal reaction ka equation for the blue block? Blue block is moving down. X2 is down. N1 or N cos theta is up. X2 is down. N2 cos theta is up. N2 cos N cos theta is up. X2 is down. So it becomes minus N cos theta multiplied by x2. Do we understand this? Can I have raised hand that we understand this, sir? Well done. Now, if you have understood this, that is our constraint relation that must be equal to 0. N1, N goes away, N goes away. You have the constraint relation x1 sine theta is equal to x2 cos theta, or you can write x2 is x1 tan theta. Do we understand this? Can I have some raised hand that we understand this? Well done. If x2 is x1 tan theta, if x2 is x1 tan theta, how will I write my equations for V1 and V2? V1 and V2 will not be any different. V1, V2 will be equal to V1 tan theta. Remember here, theta does not change. Theta is the angle of the wedge, does not change. So I can write the acceleration by equation as well. A2 will be A1 tan theta. Theta does not change here. These are the constraint relation for the three gentlemen, for the three quantities, x1, x2, v1, v2, and y1, y2. Do we understand this? Can I have some reason that we understand this? Everyone? Well done. I'll give you a question for homework. Everyone in the online class, I am lowering all hands. Please raise all your hands so that I understand that we have understood this. Now I have made this one for you. Theta. Remember, I told you when I am teaching Newton's laws of motion, no one in this universe can be better. So One more question for you as homework. I hope to see your answer. How does the system move? So let me tell you that this gentleman is moving here with x1. Let me not ask V1 and V2, V1 and A1, because if you understand x1, you should be able to understand V1 and A1. If this block moves here, this is a wedge which moves here. What about the rod? Hanak has given me the thumbs up. The rod has to move down. So this is x2, x1 is here, x2 is here, down. You have to tell me the relation between x1, x2, v1, v2, a1, a2. That would be how I would be ending this class on this note. Please remember to mark your questions that you think are important, that can help you revise this question. For example, for wedge constraint, you can mark any of these two questions. For string constraint, you can mark any question from the above category. For that angle wala thing, theta wala thing, you can mark any question from that category. 3 questions and your entire constraint relation can be done. I would be ending my class here. I have extended my class by 3 minutes. I normally don't do this. ठीक है, कभी कभी चलता है. I'm very strict on time and discipline. Take care. Bye bye. See you. I hope all of you remain stay happy, healthy, and safe. Bye 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 bye.